Welcome to Powerhouse with a Coach Maker, your weekly engagement into the heart of the nation's political and economic pulsation. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on SSBC television. This is Powerhouse, where realization meets empowerment, just on SSBC television.
Hello, dear viewer of SSBC Powerhouse with Coach Maker. We are joining you live in the studio with the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Honorable Albino Akol-Attack, to discuss South Sudan's current humanitarian situation, a situation that remains critical as the number of refugees and returnees fleeing the conflict in Sudan continues to rise, placing immense pressure on available relief resources. South Sudan faces a growing humanitarian crisis with over 2.3 million refugees and asylum seekers hosted in neighboring countries awaiting repatriation and more than 2 million internally displaced persons within its borders, primarily due to climate-related disasters such as devastating floods that have destroyed key infrastructure and deepened food insecurity. To better understand who is taking up the responsibility of alleviating this humanitarian crisis, we are joined by Minister Attack to share with us the government's relief and crisis management strategies, particularly in light of recent funding cuts from major donors, including USAID. South Sudan has numerous IDP camps established after 2013 conflict, with Bentiu being the largest and oldest, hosting over 100,000 individuals. Others include Juba IDP Camp, Bor IDP, and Malakal Protection of Civilian Site. Following the ongoing clashes between the SSPDF and White Army militia in Nasir and Ulang counties of Upper Nile State, many people have been displaced in those counties. Some are flew to Ethiopia border, while in Western Equatorial State in Yambio, many families have also left their houses following the clashes that took place some months back. Initially, many South Sudanese were displaced as a result of the climate change, food insecurity, and insecurity following cattle raiding and intercommunal conflicts. Just to begin with, what is the humanitarian situation in Ulang and Nasir County of Upper Nile State as we speak now?
Thank you once again. Yes, humanitarian situation in that area is of course dire and it needs a lot of efforts to be done so that we actually save the life and support the vulnerable people. But generally, let me say, as you put in the introduction, that in South Sudan, especially this year 2025, the humanitarian situation is very challenging. It's challenging in the sense that the factors that are contributing to this are actually increasing our money. We know that the climate change impact in South Sudan is the major one because it's bringing flooding every year and drought in some areas, which sometimes it gives us a very high temperature and heat waves. And this flood has been actually devastating many, aspects of life of people of South Sudan in all these years. Maybe this is the 6th year now that we are also anticipating the same flooding to come. We have conflict in Sudan since April 2023, which is also bringing another vulnerability to people of South Sudan. Not only because it's bringing vulnerable people, but also is interrupting economic activities in South Sudan. And then you also see the outbreak, diseases outbreak, that also contributing into vulnerability of people of South Sudan. And then communal fights from now and then also is creating this.
Yes, Honorable, before we reach there, can you tell us where these displaced persons from Nasir and Ulang County, where have they crossed? Have they come to this side of the country or crossed the border?
Yes, coming to that situation, which is the reason, one of the factors raising humanitarian situation in the country, the displacement, we have been tracking them. We discovered that the displacement, majority of them went to Ethiopia, and part of them came to Upper Nile, part of Upper Nile, and part of Jonglei State. We have registered almost more than 112,000 people who have been displaced from that two areas, Ulang and Nasser. Some of them are in PG, some of them in Povo, some of them part of Malakal. So this is the number of people that we have now gathered, and we have now known where they are. But there is another number of people who have crossed the border to Ethiopia.
So
These people, yes, these people are in a critical situation. They need almost everything. They need shelter, they need food, they need, of course, medical attention, because some of them are running.
So as the government reach out to the Ethiopian government in regard to the displaced person who have flew to the
Yes,
country?
we are in contact with the, because we have humanitarian attaches there through our embassy that are doing such a thing. They are giving us information. Also through our partners, especially UNHCR, we also get those information. So the number is more than what I have just mentioned from South Sudan.
All right.
Yes, it's more than that.
Since he took the office as the 47th President of United States, Donald Trump has banned U.S. aid to African countries, causing many NGOs to withdraw their support in Africa, reducing humanitarian support such as health protection and life-saving programs to the countries affected by natural disasters and war. So, what is the alternative ways of supporting the people of South Sudan?
Yes, we have closed down the U.S. aid organization. These international aids have made African countries very lazy. We want to see these countries develop culture of depending on themselves.
We have seen recently when the Trump took over the office as the 47th President of the United States, his administration has ordered the withdrawals of the U.S. aid services in parts of Africa, and South Sudan being one of the country in Africa. So how is South Sudan affected by this decision in terms of humanitarian assistance, considering the fact that South Sudan was actually relying on humanitarian donations from the U.S.?
Yes, South Sudan is one of those countries that is affected significantly because in South Sudan humanitarian operation, the major donor is USA. So if such a thing happen, definitely it will affect us. If we compare their contribution last year, 2024, we got that their contribution was more than 50% from the humanitarian operation. So we expect that the same percentage will also be actually cut with this decision in 2025. So we are significantly affected by that cut. Not only, I want to also give you the information that not only USA that has also cut the funding, but other donors also they have reduced their donation.
Why?
About 6. Of course, they attribute this for the global increase of humanitarian situation that need to be attentive to. And of course, you cannot ask a donor, somebody who is giving you something, you cannot ask, why are you not bringing it to us? But generally, they say that, of course, humanitarian crises in the world are rising, and all of them, they need actually to be supported. Following the humanitarian core principles, of course, wherever there is a human being, and there is humanitarian situation, people have to rescue that person. With
Okay.
that increment, of course, the resources are actually coming scarce.
All right, if the US, they have now reduced or they have cut the USA, they have withdrawn actually from these services, US aid services in let's say in South Sudan, as we speak, and you are saying they were the larger one, donations in terms of support, humanitarian support, they were attributing to more than 50%. And you have also said the other humanitarian agencies, they have also withdrawn or they have cut what they were offering to South Sudan. So how is the government responding to this as we speak in the country?
Yes.
What are you doing?
As I mentioned, it is a cut in the funding. It is not total withdrawal because USAID is still funding some projects.
So how will you fill the gap?
Yes, this is I'm coming to. So there is those projects that they are still funding. But let's say it is significantly cut. And this is why we have that impact. The other donors also, they have reduced their funding because of the factors that I have said. So it means the funding of this year will drop drastically. So it means we have to come into to fill the gap. Nowadays, this is what we have been actually doing, and we have been coordinating with our partners because this is the norms nowadays, that whatever we do, where any response or intervention we are doing, we do it together with our partners. So we have analyzed this, and when we found that it is affecting many sectors in humanitarian, so we have employed some strategies.
Okay.
One of the strategies is that to inform our beneficiaries, to inform them wherever they are. Those who are depending on food, nutrition, wash, health care, and education, we inform the beneficiaries that there is cut somewhere. As a result of that, definitely the services we are giving will definitely be reduced. So we must inform them. We must inform the beneficiaries. This, of course, will help us let the beneficiaries understand. The other strategy is to make prioritization. Instead of us covering everything, we are now making prioritization based on what we have and based on the needs. Prioritization means we have to only focus on life-saving services in some areas that are critically affected, and some people that are critically affected. So we must make prioritization. This prioritization, we do it together with our partners so that we know how do we overcome this situation. The third is, of course, filling the gap as the government. As the national government, we are committed to fill that gap in humanitarian services. As the state government, also they have to fill the gap. Local government, also they have to do, even the communities. And this is where we want to say that as people of South Sudan, of course, we cannot continue forever depending on humanitarian aids. We must design a way, we must join our efforts so that we graduate from this dependency. So we have to employ self-reliance activities, including agriculture, including other activities that generate some of the profits. This is very important for our population. This is a contribution actually of population. The fourth is for us to protect humanitarian workers and assets. Because those who are supporting our people, vulnerable people, have to be protected so that they don't have that fear that they are actually in danger. And then when they withdraw from that area, definitely people will suffer. We have to protect also the humanitarian assets. The little installation that we have now around the country, serving in various humanitarian sectors. We need to keep them, because if we allow them to get destroyed, definitely will not be able to bring them back because of the resources that are limited. And finally, of course, we'll have to continue appeal to our donors. let them know that the situation does not, permit that huge cut. We will have to talk to them, including our friends.
With the ongoing war in Sudan, displacing millions of refugees and have sought shelter in South Sudan, increasing the need for humanitarian aid.
وجيت لأهلي والحمد لله رحبوا بي وحموني وقدموا لي كل شيء ممكن، قدموا لي ما يستطيعوا تقديمه قدموه لي، وأنا بشكر الشعب الجنوبي حكومة وشعبا.
أنا بشكر دولة بتاع جنوب السودان من ما جينا ياهو خشينا هنا، هو برضه بقيفوا يومي معنا هنا، والليلة الحمد لله عمل لنا أمني برضه كويس، فنشكرهم ذلك.
According to Albino Akol, South Sudan is hosting refugees in 8 camps with a growing number of refugees.
Influx of the forcefully displaced people from Sudan as a result of adapting an open door policy. Through this policy and with support from partners and the donors community, we have been able to provide life-saving services and provision of these food. We believe that UAE has started its generosity, responding to the call of His Excellency the President of the Republic of South Sudan.
South Sudan remains one of the African nations at the forefront of humanitarian efforts to alleviate human suffering.
Okay, Honorable, talking of priorities, where you are going to prioritize who to benefit and who not to, and you've also highlighted that you are going to inform the beneficiaries how they will respond, we will get from them. So if we are talking of priorities whereby you want to prioritize who should benefit and who should not, so how is your ministry managing the influx of refugees and returnees arriving from Sudan? Now that you have refugees, the existing one, you have the returnees and the one that are coming in, and you are talking of priority. So how are you managing this?
Exactly, because we have a plan, we have a core principles that we are following. We are not just operating out of nothing. We are operating within a system that has already been set. We have already principles, we have policies, we are following that. So prioritization comes when we have a scarcity of resources. We must prioritize. We only focus on life-saving services wherever they are. Now you have talked about those who came from Sudan. Of course, their situation definitely will be worse than other situation of others. So we will have to attend to that. It is an emergency. This is where we will introduce issues of emergency. So we will have to attend to emergency until the situation settle, and then we try to do it. So prioritization means we actually attend to those communities, or let's say affected people, not communities, because we are not dealing with communities. Affected people that need life-saving services in terms of medicine or health care in general, in terms of food, in terms of even shelter, because some people are now coming without all this. So that is the prioritization we mean, and this we will do it together with our partners and local authorities, so that we do it fairly. Of course, you understand when I say fairly, because we are humanitarian. For those who are coming from Sudan, as you mentioned, and by the way, people are still coming because the conflict is still there. As we speak now, we have registered more than 1,112,000 people who have crossed since the eruption of this conflict. 68% are South Sudanese returnees.
Okay.
Then 31% or 30% are Sudanese. This adding to already existing Sudanese refugees in many camps around the country, especially in the northern part. You have in Maban, in Jamjang, in Ruweng, you go to those areas. So these refugees come with the critical needs. Of course, as the country, we have that obligation to protect them and to give them life-saving services. We do this together with our partners so that we save them. And you are aware that from the beginning, when this conflict erupted, the country have adopted open door policy. We receive everybody to come. That is our obligation in South Sudan. So when I talk about the crisis in Sudan, I'm talking about all the impact that they have created in South Sudan. Sudan conflict has brought vulnerable people, which has now put pressure on the host communities in terms of services that they are sharing. But also, they have affected our economy activities. You know, our country depends on the oil that passes through Sudan, which has been affected for several times. It has also interrupted the trade routes that have been happening between the states that are bordering Sudan from South Sudan. All these activities have stopped. Only we are receiving vulnerable people. This is where we consider ourselves that crisis of Sudan, we are the most affected from the neighboring countries. One time we had this discussion on Sudan crisis, and we have evaluated those countries around Sudan who have been affected much. Our country have been affected so much.
Talking of fairness in such volatile, insecure and politicized environments, humanitarian aid can risk being manipulated. What are the moral dilemmas faced in such context?
As I said, the fairness I'm talking about, we are following principles of humanitarian, about major 4 principles. Humanity first, neutrality, impartiality, and independence. These core values, all of us, we apply them. So humanity first, we must rescue the human being wherever they are. We must be neutral in the sense that we don't favor group against another, especially in the situation you are mentioning. In the situation of where there is war, there is no way we do
so
this.
In that
so in that situation, we are keen with our partners to respect those core principles. And definitely in the situation that there is conflict, and it is only the conflict that between the organized armies is where you expect that those things will be protected and will be followed. But in the case of Nasser and Olang, where it is armed civilians that have attacked the organized forces, we definitely expect such regulations to be violated. But for us as humanitarian, our part is to reach out for the needy people based on the need of human being.
You've mentioned something to do with Nasir in the case of unarmed civilians. So in conflict areas like Nasir, where you have talked already, where unarmed civilians now are unable to flee, and humanitarian access is denied by the authorities, what can humanitarian actors do to support the population?
Always in such a situation, we are a government, and the government does not deny such access for humanitarian purposes. For us, we are reaching them.
No, what is meant is that, like now, we have seen the other time when the UN plane was shut down from the scene in Nasser. Assume the humanitarians want to enter.
Those whom we are supporting were not there.
They are
already
being denied.
As I told you, they are not there. They have fled already the area. They are not in Nasser. Most of them, those whom we are talking about.
So in Nasser currently there are no civilians there?
Those whom we want to support.
Oh, they have gone.
The displaced people, we track them. And as I told you, they are in those counties around Nasser. And we have already gathered them, and we are now supporting them, seeing what do they need, and then we bring If it is not within the area, the support, the sufficient support, then we bring from outside. These are the people we are looking for. We are not looking for that situation. This is why I'm talking about access. We have access to those in need.
Okay, let's assume there are some civilians who are now in Nasir as we speak and Ulang County with the current situation. How can the government play a role in protecting those civilians in that particular area?
Yeah, of course, the protection is the mandate of SSPDF. SSPDF is doing its job to do that. But me, I'm talking about humanitarian aspect of it. And humanitarian.
And we are talking of humanitarian protection also.
Yes, humanitarian aspect of it is those who are in need that we are rushed to go and support them. And those who are in need are those who ran away from their homes, you see. So wherever they ran, this is where we go and support them.
And those who are not able to run, they are not in need. All right. So
those who are in their houses, of course, with that situation, if they are in need, we will definitely reach them. But the emergency now are those who have run away. Yes, okay. Because they have no shelter, they have no anything where they are. So we will rescue these people, and later on we will also go and rescue the others.
Okay, so how is coordination between the UN, NGOs and the government to ensure a unified and effective response to the crisis in areas like Tumbra County, where we have seen?
As I said from the beginning, we always coordinate. Our coordination is perfect between the government and NGOs, let's say the partners, all of them, being UN agencies and international agencies. We have a coordination mechanism that always, when anything happens, we gather information, we gather data, and then we make a decision on how response should look like. So the coordination, I tell you, is very excellent.
So how is
yes, this is why even Tumbra County, of course, many incidences happen. Even in last year, there was incidents. The same coordination happened. As a government, we have RRC in those areas. And the RRC plus our partners on the ground, they collect primary information. They send to us, we sit, and then we make a decision and we rescue those people. The problem now, and this is what I want you to know, with this situation that there is cut in funding, we will definitely face a lot of challenges, especially when emergencies occur frequently, because those emergencies requires that we have more resources so that we move them as soon as we have that emergency. This is one of the challenges that we are going to face in this situation. But in terms of coordination, we are coordinating excellently because we are connected, and the good thing is that our partners always follow what the government say. We are making lead, we are taking lead, we are actually directing where supposed support to be, and our partners are keenly following us. This is why I want actually to appreciate that cooperation we have, because that cooperation is what is now yielding this fruit of a smooth response to the emergencies that are occurring. And we always coordinate on this manner so that we respond to emergencies. So I don't think in terms of coordination we have a problem. The only problem is the resources.
Talking of challenges that you might face in case of any emergency arising now as the ministry, is there any budget that the Ministry of Humanitarian put aside for the emergency issues in the country?
Yes, in the current budget we have. In the current budget we have humanitarian assistance that has been put aside. When there is emergency, we definitely take from there and then we rescue. The only challenge that I can say is the situation, economic situation that we are in. Sometimes make it difficult to have liquidity on time. But definitely that idea is there. This is why we put aside those money for us to use them in emergency. And of course, this is in line with the national disaster management policy that we must have what we call emergency fund in place, not only for these man-made disaster, but also for natural disaster. So I want to say that in terms of policy, in terms of readiness, we have everything it takes for us to respond to the emergency with the capacity we have.
Right.
So the only challenge I keep repeating is the resources compared to the needs, because we already, we are not only addressing emergencies, but we are also addressing other humanitarian needs that have been left by several emergency, like flood last year. You know that we had that plan of responding to the flood, and thank God with that coordination I'm talking about, with our partners plus the local authorities, we had to reduce the impact of that flood to our people. We ended up having only 1.4 million people affected, but we anticipate more than that, more than 3 million that were. But because of early warning, messaging, mitigation activities, and plus that coordination, we managed to inform our people so that they rescue themselves. So those emergencies like flood, its impact are still existing up to today. These are the impact that we are still addressing apart from emergency. Also, this issue of Sudan, we are still also addressing some of the needs, because responding to Sudan crisis is that we put refugees into the camps, refugees camp, but our returnees, we said there is no need for camping for returnees. We take them to their final destinations. In their final destination, of course, are facing a lot of difficulties for their integration to the community.
All right, Honorable, talking of flooding, we'll come back to that after this short break. Dear viewer of SSBC, we are taking a short break. Here with me is Honorable Albino Akol Attack, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, who is here to discuss the current humanitarian situation in the country. Let's take a short break.
Welcome to Powerhouse with Coach Maker, your weekly engagement into the heart of the nation's political and economic pulsation. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on SSBC television. This is Powerhouse, where realization meets empowerment, just on SSBC television.
Hello, dear viewer of SSBC. Welcome back from that short break. With me in the studio is the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Albino Akol Attack, who is here to tell us what his ministry is doing currently to the humanitarian situation we are facing as a country. So, Honorable, before we took a short break, you had mentioned flooding. We have seen Unity State is one of the states that is really affected by these natural disasters, and flooding being a main issue there. We have also seen in Jonglei State. So what is your ministry doing to ensure this, you support this state? And what is the state government also doing in conjunction with you?
Yes, what we do always, we address the impact of natural disasters. One of the natural disasters is the flood that keep occurring every year. And every year is actually destroying schools, destroying roads, destroying hospitals, homes, even crops that people have planted. So this year, or let's say 2024 flood, the last one, we managed to put in place some measures. And one of the measures include people leave the areas that are expected to be flooded. And that is one of the good thing happen. This is why we reduce the impact of people impacted. We anticipated the areas that are going to be affected. Of course, we have no any way to prevent water, but only to tell people this area is going to be flooded, please, you move this way. This area is going to be flooded, don't cultivate here, or cultivate those crops that can be harvested before the flood. That's what we done last year. So when flood came, with those information in place, with those activities in place, including even maintaining the dikes, trying to clean those way of water, and then try to put in place some measures even with the local community efforts, we managed to reduce the impact. Okay, now the same thing we will do in this year, coming year, if there is flood that is coming, the same scenario. But I want to say that in long run, we have already engaged the communities, especially the areas that are always affected by flood, heavily affected by flood. One of them is Bantu and Rupkona. In Njongole also there is those areas. We had a conversation for the long run solution. Will it be possible for people to move from here if there is no any immediate solution now? This is one of the options that people are actually considering, because the long run solution is for us to have that infrastructure that control water and direct water, including dam, because dam is the only infrastructure that will control the flow of water. Because now it is Uganda that has dam. When they open it, water comes, and it is Sudan in Jabalauli who has dam. So we have done that. So when the water come in a big quantity from Uganda, always come from Lake Victoria, and then from Jabalauli is close, then we will suffer here in South Sudan.
Okay.
So what we do is to have this short-term solution, plus informing our citizens to avoid those areas. Now I tell you, as you mentioned, Rupkona and Bantu are the most affected areas by flood. For the last 6 years, they have been in water. They are only surviving because of the dike that we have constructed. The only thing that we are now doing is to expand the dike so that we include many areas inside. Otherwise, that area will continue to be underwater until we see how to control the water. So flooding, my sister Rakuj, is one of the natural disasters that are actually contributing in humanitarian crisis inside Sudan. That we need actually to put many efforts for us to manage the water. Yes, water we need it. We cannot say we don't need water.
Yeah.
We need water. But we must manage the water in a way that we avoid its impact. Because we need water for cultivation, we need water for our livestock.
But not for disasters.
For other purposes. So this is what we always do as the ministry to reduce the impact of this flooding on our people.
After World Food Program cut food ratio due to US aid freezes, with anger rising, water shortage and job losses, South Sudanese refugees, among other refugees in Kakuma refugees camp, protested on 4th March 2025, condemning the food reduction, water scarcity, and demanding for increase.
You know what's happening. So the ration has been reduced a lot. Recently they gave each one of us 0.25 liter of oil, 3 kg of pulses, 3 kg of rice. What has happened now, they have already deducted, they have said there is no oil for this ration that is coming, and they know there is no pulses. I also want to emphasize about the issue of the water. It is been said that the water is the source of life. Here we stay without water. Where do we live? We have to die. Therefore, we need water. We have been staying for 4 days without having water. And we have been raising our issues to the concerned authority. But the question always returns, no. So even they are tired of us, then we need to be taken back to our countries, so that we go and die in our own countries there. Lastly, the issue of the resettlement. We have been...
Let us cross to Kenya, where we have seen recently refugees in Kakuma camp. That is a camp that has been there, one of the oldest camps, where South Sudanese are also there. We have seen people protested over food shortages, water scarcity, and lack of necessities by them. What measures is the government taking to assist South Sudanese refugees there? Considering the fact that that is one of the oldest camps that has actually been accommodating many South Sudanese in the past, and now with this crisis, what are you people doing?
Exactly. When we had this, of course, this is a result of cutting funding of USA. This is one of the impact. In South Sudan, we have even some room of waiver of that cut. But in those areas that are not considered like emergency like ours, the impact was very big. The problem is that those people were not informed. The beneficiaries in that camp were not properly informed of the cut in funding. This is why when they were faced with that reduction in rations, they were surprised, and then they had that reaction. What we did is that we call in the UNHCR so that we gather more information. UNHCR plus Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because our embassy in Nairobi has already reported to us on this. So we came and had that meeting. We gathered enough information. What we have decided is that, of course, a refugee in another country is a responsibility of that country in terms of protection, in terms of services. But our responsibility is to call our people back, to encourage our people to come back to our country. And we had already a plan on this. We call it Durable Solution Strategy and Plan of Action for refugees, returnees, and IDPs, even the host communities, for them to be encouraged to come home. With this situation, the only thing that we can do is to call our people back. And by then, we had already sent that message to our people. Please, if you are ready to come back, we will be facilitating that, because this is their right. And that return must be a voluntary return. There is no way we force them. But the reality is that the cut has already affected their livelihood there. If that situation is not favorable, because that is why they were there. They wanted protection and they wanted assistance. If it is not there, now South Sudan is ready to receive them, and this is what we have been doing. So our position now is to repatriate whoever is ready to come back to South Sudan, to their places of origin or anywhere they can choose. Already we had been receiving a voluntary return from the region. As you said in your introduction, that in the region we have 2.2 million people in refugees. It's no longer 2.2 now, because we have received now almost 1 million people voluntary, spontaneous return, plus this forceful return from Sudan. So it is not longer the same figure is existing in the region. It is because of stability in South Sudan, implementation of peace agreement, and the situation improvement in South Sudan. This is why. So now we have already taken those steps for us to repatriate our people back.
Okay. Right, repatriating your people back, and the current economic humanitarian situation is not favorable. I don't know how the ministry or the government will handle that. Like you have said, the situation is really not good, and you want to bring more your people
because
to
this is their country.
crisis that they are in.
This is their country, and they will have more opportunity for them even to engage in productive activities for them to sustain their life.
Yeah, we have seen thousands of South Sudanese are still stuck in Sudan's war, and following the January of South Sudanese national being killed by Sudanese forces, how did your government respond, and what long-term plans are in place to ensure their safety during the ongoing conflict?
As I mentioned, crisis in Sudan, of course, is still ongoing. And we receive many people, as I mentioned. We still receive, and we are still urging our people to come back. And that movement is, of course, voluntary. You are not forcing anybody. It is anybody who feel unsafe that move, and then we receive and we support. When that incident happened, of course, as the government of South Sudan, we condemn that act. Of course, it's something that we cannot accept. Through our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that situation was actually responded to. Our response now, as humanitarian, is definitely to look into their needs. And being in another country, it will be difficult for you to talk about us protecting those people in other country. The protection is responsibility of those people. Like when this incident happened, and our people here had a reaction, it was the responsibility of government of South Sudan to protect Sudanese who are here, who are vulnerable for that reaction. So it means it is the host government that have the mandate of protection. It is not the original, country of origin or government of origin that have that protection. So issues of protection, of course, is the responsibility of government of Sudan. If they don't do it in the way it's supposed to be done, we will still deal with them and talk to them and have our people protected and safe. But the immediate resolution to this is for people to come back. And this is why we opened the door, and we are now receiving them every day.
All right.
And the authorities in Sudan even went far to repatriate them. There is a lot of initiatives from our people, youth, business people, to help in that situation. Of course, it is emergency. And emergency is everybody is actually welcome to support in that area. So the long-term solution to this is for our people to come back whenever they feel unsafe.
They should come. Okay, we are almost winding up. In the recent killing in Nasser, where both SSPDF personnel and civilians, women lost their lives, are there specific plans in place to protect women in conflict situations?
Of course, that is our target every day. In such situation, we always call for protection of women and children. This is one of the core principles of humanity. And as I said, as the organized forces, the government organized forces, as a SPDF, definitely they will protect that. They will abide by that rules. The problem is when you see the engagement of armed civilians who are not trained, who are not organized. Definitely you will witness such violations. And in that, we really condemn that situation. And definitely as humanitarian, we will come in to support those people, and especially women and children. And I tell you, most of the vulnerable people now, or if you talk about the vulnerable people, more than half are children and women. So our focus always is that in that situation. And we always, regret to see that situation that our children are not getting what they deserve in their childhood. Childhood, of course, a child want to smile, child want to play, and being in that position to play, it must, or she must be healthy, educated, good environment. So those elements are the one actually we are trying to provide. And in that situation, we really appreciate the efforts of our partners in doing so. There is agencies that are actually working to protect or to save the children and for their education, for their health, nutrition. These are the areas always the children in that situation they miss. So in that situation, these are the things that we always put our eye. These are the focus. These are the priorities we are talking about. When we want to make priority, when we want to focus on priority in this situation of scarcity of resources, these are the areas that we focus.
Right,
these are
Honorable.
life-saving services.
All right, Honorable, in just 30 seconds, if there is any message that you can tell the IDPs, the refugees, the returnees in the country and outside the country?
Yes, I want to tell the vulnerable people, all vulnerable people, being IDPs, even host communities are vulnerable people, refugees, and those who returned recently, that in this situation, the government of South Sudan is sharing the same concern with you and is feeling your actually needs. We know that this time your resilience will be tested again, like it was tested when we had that flooding. But rest assured that the government, your government, is committed to reach out to you, to support you whenever it have that capacity of doing it. All these challenges are actually challenges that are temporary and it will go away. What we need for you to do in this difficult time is for us to employ our self-reliance activities. This is very important for us to come out from this situation. But the government of South Sudan, headed by His Excellency General Salva Kiir Mayardit, is committed and is actually concerned about your suffering and is doing whatever it can so that this situation will overcome.
Okay, Honorable, that brings us to the end of our interview. Hello, dear viewer of SSBC. Thank you for joining us this afternoon as we were discussing the current humanitarian situation in the country with the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Honorable Albino Akol Atago, has shed light, and he has committed that, or he has said that the government is committed to support those affected in this humanitarian crisis, and the government has other alternative on top of the humanitarian or the donors that have cut their support in humanitarian crisis. The government has taken or has stepped in to ensure the gap is also filled and that all the people who are in it are still they are still going to be supported by the government. That was it from us. On behalf of the team, I am Akuch Maker, and we thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.